Imagine living in a time when you could fly across the Atlantic in just 3 hours. You board Concorde in London, sip champagne, and before you even finish your movie, you're landing in New York. That was already possible in 1976. The Supersonic Concorde, an icon of technological progress, could fly at speeds over 2,000 kilometers per hour. Just a few decades earlier, no one even dreamed of going that fast. But then came a cold reality check. Concorde was beautiful, fast, and loud. It was never cheap. A single ticket cost as much as several vacations today. And for all its glory, it was never profitable. It only flew between a handful of airports. The sonic boom, the shockwave created when breaking the sound barrier, was so loud that it was banned over most populated areas. People could hear it for miles and miles and they complained. So Concorde could only go supersonic over the ocean. When disaster struck in 2000 and the plane crashed, faith in supersonic flight took a hit it never really recovered from. After the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001, the demand for luxury travel dropped even further, and Concorde was finally retired. With that, the whole era of fast commercial flight ended. Today, you board a modern jet like a Boeing 787 or Airbus A350, and you're flying at around 900 kilometers per hour. The Atlantic crossing takes 8 hours. People think technology always moves forward, but when it comes to flying fast, we have actually moved backward. Why? The reason is simpler than it seems. It's not that we can't build faster planes. It's that nobody wants to pay the price for speed. Supersonic planes burn way more fuel. They're harder to maintain, need specialized parts, and they're noisy. In a world where airlines fight for every dollar and passengers want the cheapest tickets, supersonic flight just doesn't stand a chance. A ticket on Concorde cost around $10,000 one way. That's a price only a handful of people could ever afford. And modern jets can carry more than 300 passengers per flight. Concorde carried barely 100. Airlines lost money on every trip, even with full cabins. There's also the question of safety. Concorde had just one tragic crash during its career. That's not many, but for ultra-luxury travel, even one is too much. Today's travelers expect certainty. Airlines want to avoid all risk. Then there are the politics and the rules. Sonic booms are still banned in most countries. When a plane breaks the sound barrier, the pressure wave can rattle windows and disturb entire towns. That's why supersonic planes can only go full speed over the ocean. And that limits their commercial use. There's also the climate issue. Supersonic jets burn so much fuel that if they were common, emissions would get worse, not better. And in a world where the US and Europe push for green technology, that's a problem nobody wants to deal with. New projects still pop up. American company Boom Supersonic is working on a jet that could be a third faster than today's airliners. NASA is testing the X-59, a jet designed to be quiet even when breaking the sound barrier. But both are still prototypes. No one is flying them yet. And it'll be years before you can book a 3-hour Atlantic ticket. More likely, supersonic returns for business leaders and presidents willing to pay tens of thousands for a trip. For regular people, it's still 8 hours to New York, 14 to Tokyo. Supersonic speed today is all about money, regulations, noise, and demand. Travelers want cheap, reliable flights, not extreme speed. Airlines want lower costs, and governments don't want to approve noisy new jets. So ironically, in 2025, we're flying slower than we did in the 1970s. Speed lost to price, efficiency, and ecology, at least on commercial routes. And even though we have the technology for supersonic flight, it will probably remain for the elite and a few enthusiasts for a long time to come. That's why we're not flying faster than 50 years ago. And maybe we won't for a long time. Subscribe us for more videos.